First thing that we need to understand is what is the cloud? You may have heard people using terms like the cloud, cloud computing, or cloud storage. But what exactly does this mean? And what exactly is the cloud? Or simply put, the cloud is the internet. More specifically, it's all of the things you can access remotely over the internet. When something is in the cloud, it means it is stored on internet servers instead of your computer's hard drive. Cloud computing is the on-demand availability of computer system resources, especially data storage and computing power, without direct active management by the user. The term is generally used to describe data centers available to many users over the internet. This video here provides further information on what is the cloud. As part of the guide to self-learning, it's recommended to watch this video before you move on any further with this training lesson. So why use the cloud? Well, some of the main reasons to use the cloud are convenience and reliability. For example, if you've ever used a web-based email service, such as Gmail or Yahoo Mail, you've already used the cloud. All of the emails in a web-based service are stored on servers rather than on your computer's hard drive. This means you can access your email from any computer with an internet connection. It also means you'll be able to recover your emails if something happens to your computer. So let's look at a couple of more reasons why to use the cloud. Flexibility, as if your needs increase, it's easy to scale up your cloud capacity, drawing on the service's remote servers. Cloud computing also cuts out the high cost of hardware. You simply pay as you go. Cloud computing can help with increased collaboration. When your teams can access, edit and share documents on any time from anywhere, they're able to do more together and to do it better. With the cloud, you can work from anywhere. If you've got an internet connection, you can be at work. Because your data is stored in the cloud, you can access it no matter what, no matter when, despite even if your laptop is stolen or there are concerns. You can also wipe the data remotely to ensure that no one can access important information on your laptop. It's also a more environmentally friendly way to work because you're storing information on the cloud compared to filing cabinets. It's also important to understand what is a web app in the context of cloud computing. There are also web applications or web apps that run in the cloud and do not need to be installed on your computer. Many of the most popular sites on the internet are actually web apps. You may have even used a web app without realizing it. Let's take a look at some popular web apps. Facebook lets you create an online profile and interact with your friends. Profiles and conversations can be updated at any time, so Facebook uses web app technologies to keep the information up to date. As we move forward with this lesson, you will see current web apps which act as the interface towards cloud computing technologies to assist with storing information on the cloud in regards to the construction process. With an understanding of the cloud as well as web apps now gained, let's now look at what a common data environment means within this context. A common data environment is a cloud-based environment used to store information. The CDE is the single source of information used to collect, manage, and disseminate documentation, the graphical model, and non-graphical data for the whole project team. Creating this single source of information facilitates collaboration between project team members and helps avoid duplication and mistakes. Establishing a CDE enables a single source of truth on a project. When all the different functions of construction management software are integrated and feeding into the same ecosystem, there is greater collaboration, greater efficiency, greater traceability, and fewer problems and mistakes. It allows for better design and planning, enhanced communication, real-time information sharing, easier document management, smoother handover, and maintenance of assets once the building is operational. Ownership of information within the CDE remains with the originator of that information. Individual models produced by different project team members do not interact. They have clear ownership and remain separate. This means that the liabilities of the originators are not changed by the incorporation of their model into the federated model. There may be complications, however, where ownership changes as the project progresses, for example, replacing design team objects with specialist subcontractor objects. The common data environment may include a number of different information environments. It may include a supply-side common data environment to be used by the project delivery team, an employer's information environment that provides an employer-side document and data management system for the receipt, validation, and approval of project information delivered by suppliers. The CDE provides a framework where each task team can model, coordinate, and share information in a structured manner without the issue of ownership, liability, copyright, and professional liability impacting the project. Information within the CDE can have a wide variety of status levels. However, there will generally be four main areas of information, with a sign-off process allowing information to pass from one area to the next. Four specific defined areas are work in progress, shared, published, and archive. Let's take a look at each one of these now in more detail. Let's now take a look at each one of these folders in further detail. The work in progress section of the common data environment is where members of the project team carry out their own work using their company's software systems. Such work in progress information is likely to be stored on their in-house servers with access to view or change information. Design teams are responsible for the quality of the work in progress information and should ensure that appropriate checking and review processes are in place. Therefore, each model file will only contain the information for which each design team is responsible. When data is shared with the remainder of the external project team, it is transferred to the shared area and a revision is then updated to a major revision. Before sharing is commenced, the check, review, approve transition compares the container against the information delivery plan and against the agreed standards, methods, and procedures for generating information. This ensures that any information that passes to the shared folder has been put through the adequate checks. The work in progress folder will contain minor versions. The minor revisioning system starts at P01.1 and increases in increments to P01.2 and P01.3. The status of the model in the work in progress area will be set at S0, which means initial status. Once this moves into the shared folder, this will move from S0 to S1. The second key area is the shared area. So to recap, when the models relating to, for example, the architectural design have reached a status that is fit for coordination, the model information should be uploaded into the shared section of the common data environment. To be able to move information to this area, all model files will have to have been thoroughly peer reviewed, checked, and approved, and fit for a specific purpose. It is also important for the model files to be checked to ensure they conform to project standards. The model files can now be shared by the whole design team and trade contractor disciplines. The shared section of the CDE is where information can be made available to others in a safe environment. The early release of information assists in the rapid development of the design solution. To allow this to be achieved, the concept of information status has been adopted, which we will look at in the next part. Any member of the project team can use the shared model files for reference or coordination. Other design team members can reference the latest versions of models from the shared section of the common data environment into their work in progress areas. As with the work in progress folder, there are significant checks and reviews put in place in order for information to pass from the shared folder to the published folder. This involves a review, authorized transition tests, all the containers in an information exchange for coordination, completeness, and accuracy against the information requirements. If the container passes these tests, their state is changed to published. Here we can see the status of the different files which are contained within the shared folder. If the status is S1, this means it's fit for coordination. S2 means fit for information. This status is non-litigious and therefore indicates sharing with technical consultants to exchange information. S3 means that it's fit for internal review and comment. This must be undertaken before issue to the client. And finally, S4, fit for construction approval. The next folder is the publication folder. The published documentation section of the CDE contains drawings and, if agreed by the project teams, the model files, which are snapshots of the shared information taken at a specific time. Before information is released into the documentation section of the CDE and made available to the wider project team, for example, for procurement or construction, information must be checked and approved. This is similar as to the work in progress and shared folders. Suitable review and authorization processes must be defined and rigorously adhered to. These should be applied equally to work package subcontractors, drawings, as well as the design consultant documents. There are a number of statuses within this folder. A denotes no comment, fit for construction, while B means comment, partial sign-off, fit for construction with minor comment from the client. AB denotes as-built. The D status indicates that although published data, it may not be used for construction approval or construction. This data will not have had client sign-off. D1 will mean fit for costing, D2 fit for tender, D3 fit for contract design, while D4 will mean fit for manufacture procurement. The D status will usually be at a request from the client to the lead designer. This data will not be issued to the shared area but direct to the client. Once the documents have received sign-off status A, fit for construction, the document moves to the contractor's ownership and the revision notation changes to the C1 CN to show that this is a construction document and no longer preliminary information. Final folder is the archive folder. The archive section of the CDE is for inactive or superseded material. Such information will provide a history of the project information transfers, change orders, and knowledge retention, and can be used for other contractual purposes or discovery. It is important to keep the history of superseded information so after completion of the project, teams can analyse the project development for lessons learned. In addition to the audible tracking of the project history, the archive should also contain all relevant information, the handover document for the project lifecycle, including remeasured as-built, as constructed and verified information, as drawings and model files, change audits, asset data, health and safety file, all relevant operations and maintenance information, and documentation specified in the client's brief as deliverable. So just to recap on some of the benefits associated with a common data environment. These include can be used to reduce the time and effort required to check, version, and reissue information. Common data environment can help in the extraction of a selection of the latest approved data from the shared area. Can be used to reduce coordination checks, which are a byproduct of the detailed design production process. The common data environment can help in the reuse of information to support construction planning, estimating, cost planning, facilities management, and many other downstream activities, as well as reducing the time and costs associated with the production of coordinated information. Here's an example of a number of leading cloud-based platforms currently on the market. A video has been provided here to assist with the guided self-learning. It is recommended that you view this video, which will further explain what is a common data environment, as well as explaining the work in progress, shared, published, and archive folders.